I want to briefly talk today about a couple of books that were and are instrumental in my shooting development. When I started shooting in the 90s, we had almost no videos, there was no YouTube or anything like that. Of course, there were classes, but if you wanted to learn to shoot and you didn't know anybody who could teach you, then you needed to read some books and then go practice what those books told you. And the two main books that really benefited me at the time for performance shooting is this J. Michael Plaxco, Shooting from Within. These are 90s USPSA techniques, and there are some differences with how we do things today, but the difference is incredibly small. And so this is a very valuable book that still holds up very well today. The other book, and I've got a whole bunch of books here that I could point to that really are worth reading and are beneficial and taught me a lot. But the other book that I still reference today on a regular basis, Brian Enos's book. The practical shooting that he wrote at the time seemed Zen-like to a lot of shooters, and a lot of people dismissed it because of that, but others, whether they understood it or not, certainly talked about how great a book it was. And I think if you can't really shoot yet, it will be a little confusing at times. And I've read this book a lot of times, many times over the years. I learn something new each time. I see it a little bit differently each time. And when I first started, there were definitely aspects that he talked about that were confusing to me, that seemed a little too esoteric. But once you get a little bit of skill, all these things start to become much more clear. And the things he talked about in the 90s are still completely valid today. And when you watch top shooters, the ones who actually know what they're doing are pretty much doing what he was talking about. So if you haven't read these two books, Brian Enos's Practical Shooting Beyond Fundamentals and J. Michael Plaxco's Shooting from Within, highly recommend them. There's a lot of other books that are really good, that are really worth reading, but these two, from a performance shooting standpoint, are probably the peak.